Hey, what's up? Well, I am so friggin' excited. I've had this Variax for a number of years. It's been my number one guitar in my band. It does all kinds of cool retunings and models of other guitars, and really plays nice. But it's starting to get up there in age, and at times it's kind of glitched out a little bit. There have been times where I've been playing along, and there's like a digital glitching that's been happening. I sprayed the pots out, sprayed out the jack, have changed out cables, and it's just a weird thing. Every great once in a while, it just does this glitching thing, and the only way to really get it to stop is to change presets or go to the magnetic pickups. So my thinking is I need a spare. I want the same thing, but I need a spare, right? So here's what I did. I went on the Guitar Center used site because they do not make these guitars anymore. That's it. They're done. And the parts for them, they're getting wicked hard to get. I don't think you can even get the input jack for them anymore. So I got to have a backup, and I want it to be as close to the original as it can be. So Guitar Center had 3 or 4 of them used. Funny story. I ordered one. It was very reasonable. It shipped from California. It arrived in Hartford via UPS, and then it never went out for delivery. And 4 days later, nobody could find it. So it was gone. Went down to the Guitar Center, reluctantly asked for a refund, and they canceled the order. And lo and behold, 2 days later, I went online and looked, and there was another one. Same price, and said that it was in great condition. That could mean anything, though, right? So they shipped it out, and it will be here today. So I'm going to go down and grab it, and hopefully it's as good as the original, and maybe better. Sorry. All right, well, here we are. Fresh home from the Guitar Center. Didn't even take the thing out of the box. Didn't even take it out of the case. Did they give us anything extra? Nothing. Not even a pick. Let's see what we got here. Oh, wow. That is nice. I don't know if we can pick up on the finish there, but there's some nice tiger striping on that maple finish. Some fingerprints, but man, I don't see a ding or a scratch on this thing. Not even really pick marks. Check out the frets. I mean, there is zero wear on these frets. That is pretty impressive. No dings on the back. Check this out. Still has some of the original brand new plastic. It's got a 2015 serial number, so it's going to be about 4 or 5 years younger than the current James Tyler Variax. Neck looks great. I mean, there's not a mark on this thing. The battery is dead. This is where the battery goes, in this compartment here, but at least it came with a battery. I don't know if it's ever been out of there. It's a pretty tight fit. Yeah. I gotta say, this thing is as close to mint as you're gonna find. All right, well, that's awesome. We've got a lot of work to do to get this thing to look as good as the cherry red. I guess that's what we'll call it, the cherry red Variax. Let's start by number 1, and update the software. Believe it or not, there's software in this thing, and you can change the models, you can change the pickups, all that stuff. But I want to change the software so it exactly matches this guy. Next step, we got to remove the strings. Those things are as old as can be and have 0 life in them. We're going to change out the tuners. We are going to open the back and test the electronics. We're going to check the intonation and maybe adjust the truss rod. And then to get it set up and playing right, we're going to polish the frets. You'll see this special process that works really, really well for our fret polishing. We're going to put some lemon oil on those dry pieces of wood because they're looking pretty dried out, and get those frets playing real nice. Love the fret decals on here that look like inlays, and we're going to get some inlays. We're going to get some inlays on this, on the new one as well. Hopefully it will sound and play just as good as the other, and maybe the only distinguishing character will be the finish. And really, probably got to put one of these bad boys in it too. It needs a Burstbucker 3. All right, let's go check it out. So here's my trifecta of Variax, or Varii, I'm not sure. But I have an embarrassment of riches of guitars here. So here's the cool thing with the Variax. You've got the old workbench where you can modify each model to your liking and make changes. I've made changes and I saved those. So what I want to do is, there's a way to upload your presets. Where did I find that? Yes, there's my bundle file from, there it is. So on January 4th, I created a bundle from my JTV 59. January 11th, I did a backup. Let's try that. And then we're going to upload those to Variax. And that could take a while. All right, so I checked the intonation, and it looks like it was set at some point. It's pretty good. It's pretty close. The action was riding a little bit high, so what I did was I put a capo on the first fret, pressed down on the last fret, and then what you want to do is check the gap here about the 6th fret. And there's a tiny bit of relief there. I may still want to lower the action a little bit. It's pretty good, but I think I'm going to restring it, play it a little bit, and check it out. This bridge is a little bit funny. I'm not sure. There's some Allen screws here and here, and then there's this that I think raises and lowers the entire bridge. You can't raise and lower each string. So it's a matter of maybe just an 1/8 of a turn. First things first, I want to remove these strings, and we are going to put some Paul Reed Smith locking SE tuners in here. I believe the shafts on these are 10 millimeter. At least I think that's what it said online. You know, these tuners aren't bad. They actually have a nice feel to them. They're not sloppy. Let's get to work on this. Let's get these strings off, and I need a 10 millimeter wrench or socket to get these things off. All right, well, here's the moment of truth. These look like they're going to be a direct drop-in replacement. First I'm going to see is do these. Yeah, the shaft is the exact same size. That's good news. If the screw holes line up, this will be a super easy job. Look at that, they do. I think they're made in the same factory. All right, let's get these put in. So the key here is to tighten these up, but not over tighten them. You just don't want them to move when you're tuning strings. And we don't want to strip them. Too tight, you could probably crack the neck if you put like a socket on there. I kind of prefer a wrench here. I mean, it's up against the washer, so it's not going to scratch the finish. And I can be really gentle. Maybe a torque wrench is what you really need, right? I think they look pretty sharp. They're pretty tiny from the back. And then the locking part of that is this. So these little guys drop in here. Alright, so next step we are going to do is to polish these frets. They're actually pretty good fretwork. I mean, they definitely were rounded off, and the edges don't hang out past the fretboard as you sometimes find with cheaper Korean guitars. This, somebody was using this online and I bought it. This stuff is unbelievable. It's called Lizard Spit Ultimate Fresh Polishing Fret Polishing System. And it is some people use steel wool and all kinds of crazy stuff, but man, you don't want those metal shards getting all over your magnetic pickups and everything. This thing's cool because it gives you this little shim that you put over it, and then they give you a bunch of these little pads that they're like pre-treated with some kind of a polish in them. I mean, check this out. It protects the fret. You just give it a little to this, and it just takes all the goo off of there, and it turns this thing into a shiny fret machine. And look what it took off of there. And then they give you this microfiber cloth, and I don't know if that shows in camera, but I can see this one shines like a mirror compared to these. Yeah, I mean, that's just beautiful. And when you play after that, when you do a string bend, there is no resistance. But we're going to hit all these frets, and we'll get this thing shining. Let's do it. Alright, let's get this fretboard cleaned up. Right, this next step is not really necessary, but it's an aesthetic thing. I really do prefer block inlays to dot inlays. And since I do not own a router to route these out and do it the right way, I'm going to do it with the $10 way. With these stickers from Amazon, from Inlay Stickers Giacomo. To make sure they stick real good, throw a little alcohol on there, and then put it on there and use something to make it stick.